Yo, how's it going, guys? Sinister Skater here, bringing you a guide on how to farm paint cans in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Everything I'm about to share with you in this video should get you at least 30, I'd say more towards 35 to 40 plus paint cans in about 10 minutes. For example, you can see in the screenshot I got 41 paint cans in one game. Now, of course, if there's paint can events like the Days of Summer coolers, those would obviously get you way more paint cans, but this method will always be the best option outside of certain events where they kind of boost the amount of paint cans that you can get. So with that said, I will be sharing what you got to play, how to play it, some routes and locations to follow, just general overall tips to make looking for paint cans even easier with certain perks and things. Time codes will be down in the description if you want to jump around, so let's get started. First things first is you're going to be playing Alcatraz Island. Alcatraz is a smaller Blackout Battle Royale map with a high density of paint cans. It makes for very quick games. The games usually last anywhere between 9 to 12 minutes, and the more important thing is that you don't have to worry about dying 5 minutes in and having to restart the game like in regular Blackout. You get up to 5 redeploys in Alcatraz, and so long as your teammates are alive, you'll be able to drop into different points of the map, which you could use as a strategy to get some more paint cans or to just pick up where you left off. Now, of course, this means you're going to be that guy that drops separately from their teammates and runs around looking for paint cans instead of actually trying to kill people. But, you know, if you die, you can do everything again, and you got to be selfish to get some of the things you want in life. So do what you got to do, you know what I'm talking about. The second most important thing that you should know is the route. So I'm going to be trying to have gameplay sync up with the areas I'm talking about in the background of this video. Note that this gameplay was recorded well before the submarine and I was going to say sub sandwich for some reason, I don't know why, but the submarine and the shipwreck locations were added to the Alcatraz Island map. Those additions really don't change how anything works. I'm going to be explaining. The only thing would be that you probably should be a little bit more aware of your surroundings when you're running by the sub. So the place you're going to be dropping every single game is going to be the docks, and there's a specific location I'll show you in a second, but I want to say first that where you go from docks depends on the location of the first circle, and this is very important for optimizing your paint cans. My general rule of thumb is that where you go from docks is opposite of where the first circle is enclosing on. So if the circle is closing towards the powerhouse, you'll want to clear docks, parade grounds, everything on the south side of the map before the circle hits there and closes you off from being able to loot those areas. Then as you move towards the actual circle, you can clear the areas on the way and clear the areas inside the circle and work your way with how the circle is playing out. The opposite, if the first circle cutoff is at docks or parade grounds or even officers club, you'll want to clear docks and then make your way kind of looting towards the north side of the map as quickly as possible, clear that area, and then work your way back as the circle closes, clearing out more paint cans. It's all about getting the most out of the RNG of the circle each and every game and ultimately optimizing your time. One straightforward route is not going to work for every game, so my goal is to share my knowledge so you can make the best decisions for each and every game. The one straightforward thing I can tell you that will be certain in this video is you're always going to want to drop docks every single time, and that docks and cell house and officer club is where you get a majority of your paint cans in a timely manner, which I will show you right now. So you're always going to be dropping on this southeast corner of the docks right in front of the staircase. Immediately once you hit the ground, you're going to look at the main building to see if there's a can on one of the crates or the barrels against the wall. There's usually one there about 90% of the time, I would say. And then from there we work our way onto the actual dock where there's, like, I guess the best way to describe this is there's 3 rows of various objects. Typically you can find about 1 paint can per row, and that can will be either on top of some of the tarp boxes, the crates, or the barrels. So just weave in and out of all that debris on the dock as quickly as possible and pick up all those cans along the way. Once you clear that half of the dock, you're going to want to move further down the dock. But before you do that, make sure you check the entrance that's right around the corner from where you dropped. There could be a can actually on top of the entrance, or usually there's one on the inside the left room of that entrance, or on the barrel to the right of that entrance. Moving on from there, there could be a paint can at the staircase. There's some on the top of the tarped boxes on that side of the dock. There's some against the building, some on the railings. You'll see some of the gameplay, the areas of where to look. 90% of the time from there, I like to go to the detached dock towards the water, where 90% of the time there's a paint can on top of that tarped box. And then from there, I'll usually make my way back under the gondola back up onto the road, where there could be some more cans on either the railings or the crates, or some of the, I think there's a barrel on the side of the crates as well. Now from here, which order you go next depends again on the circle. Typically, I'll go up towards the cell house to loot the top of the docks from here. But if the circle is ending, like again on the south side of the map, I want to make my way towards Powerhouse, towards the north side of the map, and run north along the docks to get the most paint cans. But for continuity's sake, we'll go towards cell house right now, and then work our way down the map with general can locations. So hopefully we'll be able to see how you can take different routes from our current position and cover as much of the map as possible. So if we go up these boxes from here, there tends to be a paint can on the ledge to the right, or the balcony that's towards the gondola. From there, you want to take the staircase up to the top of the docks, which I like to call the jackpot zone. There's always going to be 2 paint cans on the north side, either on the boxes or the fence or the benches. In the middle of the little area up top there where the entrance is, you'll find some paint cans on either the boxes or the benches. And there's a couple more on the opposite end towards where we dropped up at the top. We can check the stairwell here for some cans. Usually I'll peek down the balconies to see if there's a can alongside the rails or even on the benches there. I'll check the walkway to the south of the stairwell as well. And about here, I should say, you should have about 15 to 20 paint cans on average, I would say. From the stairwell that we just ended at, you can run exactly south, I believe, up towards this the top of a hill where there's a house, and sometimes there will be a paint can on that railing. I like to check that location, then run along that railing back kind of towards the cell house in the docks area. In this whole area right here, there's like a little garden and a bunch of stairwells. You'll find paint cans on top of the stairs, on top of the hills. They're all along the fence. Sometimes they're on the grass boxes. Here, you just want to check all the different railings to see a bunch of different paint cans. You never really want to go inside cell house from here, but you can run along the street that is between cell house and the actual water, and you'll find paint cans on top of these stairs. You'll find paint cans along the ledges of the road. There's a bunch of stuff. You can go down a level when you get towards the officers club, I believe, and sometimes there's a paint can all the way at the bottom of the staircase, which I'm sure you'll see a clip of right now. And then you can check that fence all along there. There's like 2 huts and some crates on the side. You'll find paint cans on the fences. You'll find paint cans in the huts and paint cans on the crates. Check all those different locations, and then also check the bottom of the water tower. If you keep running straight, it should take you to the bottom of the water tower, and on each different pillar, I believe a paint can spawn, and usually you'll be able to find one easily there. Right next to the water tower is the courtyard, or the jail yard, on the, I believe this is the north side of the cell house. And you check all the benches, all the crates along the walls, just kind of make a U shape around the edge of the walls in that jail yard, and you'll find a bunch of paint cans there. And then from here, I usually, it depends, you can go, technically here you're in the middle of the map, so you really can go anywhere from here. I could say I tend to go back towards the water, towards Officers Club. It really depends on the circle, so keep that in mind. But we're going to jump back to the north side, the bottom side of docks, where we decided to go up. We're going to decide to go along the river towards the Officers Club and Powerhouse now, and I'll show you all the different paint locations here, and then we'll kind of work our way back around the map so you can get all the different locations in the area. So if you work your way down along the water, you can find a bunch along the fences and the barrels. On top of these staircases, there's always one on the docks. Check the stairwells in each corner of the little mini docks that are sticking out in the water. Once you get actually past Officers Club, you can check a bunch of the rocks. There's some on top of the rocks as well, but we don't really check anything on the inside here. Most of the stuff is just along the water on the outside. You can just make your way down and pick a bunch of paint cans. In the Powerhouse, there are a couple on the first level, which you'll see me looting right now. I tend to check that area as well. And then if we wrap around towards Model Industries from here, again, check the rocks. There's some in the hut with the wall weapon in there. You can check the dock in the back of the Model Industries and some of the ledges. And then again, if you stick towards the water, there's another little ledge, little beach area between Model Industries and the ruins, where you'll find a bunch of paint cans as well. Another hot zone for paint cans is the ruins area, or not the ruins area, but the area kind of opposite of ruins, more towards the water. I don't really know how to they're like little mini courtyards, little areas of 3. There's like little half circles and stuff. You'll see it on the screen right now, so you know what I'm talking about. But you can find paint cans there, find paint cans all along the fence, and then in parade grounds, there's some on top of all the different buildings and stuff. I don't know, maybe this wasn't the best video to just do a voiceover, but that's pretty much every area I would check for paint cans. You really just want to loot docks and then the area between docks and cell house, and kind of just stick towards the water and just pick up all the paint cans along the way. And again, it depends where the circle's going. Maybe you can loot docks and then go all the way down to Model Industries, and then you can die and redeploy at the top of docks and kind of loot from docks all the way to the jail yard and work your way around. There's really a bunch of different possibilities you can do. This video is going to be long enough where you can see a bunch of different routes in full that I'm taking in the video, so there's that. That's the different routes for you. Hopefully that makes sense and wasn't too confusing. So that brings us on to a few tips before we end this video. So it goes without saying, if you want as many paint cans as possible, the only focus you should have is to pick up paint cans. You want to avoid gunfights as possible. I also recommend to play claw grip to pick up paint cans as quickly as possible while staying on the move. If you guys aren't familiar with claw grip, I'll link to a video where I kind of explained it briefly in the cards right now. It's a way you can grip the controller where you always have your thumb on the right analog stick, and you can use other fingers to press buttons, and your thumb never leaves the analog stick, so you can always be moving and always pick stuff up. It's really, really helpful, and you can easily switch back to a normal grip if you do actually get in a gunfight in there. For perks, Outlander and Looter are amazing. Outlander, of course, will help you survive outside of the circle a little bit longer to maximize on paint cans if you need a little extra time to finish looting an area. And Looter will actually highlight all the paint cans for you, as well as all the loot on the ground. The paint cans are highlighted in blue, and just makes it easier to see where you need to go and pick up paint cans. And while Looter is active, you don't need to run around looking at all the different areas. You can just, check areas that you become familiar with over time. Paint cans are there, and if there's not a highlight in blue, then you can just keep on moving on. It saves you a lot of time. Other perks that are good are Lightweight, of course, to move faster, Dead Silence, Awareness, Skulker, Paranoia, Engineer. All these help you hear better so you can identify enemies or stay more quieter so you can be more stealthy and run around and not alert enemies, and gives you more intel to avoid areas if there's a lot of traffic there and enemies and you see a lot of razor wire and whatever with Engineer on as well. Consumer also is another perk I'd recommend you pick up, especially if you're going to be outside of the circle with Outlander. Helps you heal up faster. The grapple gun is a great equipment for mobility and quickly scaling up things. The sensor dart, again, is great for recon, just like Dead Silence, Paranoia, Engineer, all that. The smoke and concussion grenades I also would pick up in order to get out of sticky situations if you find yourself in the middle of a gunfight or getting shot at in the middle of the field. Last but not least, weapon-wise, I would highly recommend you get a shotgun. They're very lethal and usually will be in close quarter situations in Alcatraz, and that will, if you do get in a gunfight, help you just blast someone down quickly and move on with yourself. And then an AR or SMG would also be something worthwhile to pick up, just in case you get in a ranged gunfight. But anything other than either a shotgun or SMG and an AR, I would avoid picking up. And you really don't want to pick up any guns because you don't want to be getting in gunfights because you want to pick up as many paint cans. But that is my Alcatraz Island guide to get a lot of paint cans. Again, you're getting 35, 40 in about 10 minutes, which I think is one of the best rates for getting paint cans. Hopefully this video made sense and was helpful. I've been sitting on actually making this for a couple months now because I just didn't know how to format it. I just said, yo, we're just gonna free ball and see what happens. So hopefully things turned out well. If you guys learned something new or enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button, get subscribed, and turn on bell notification for future uploads. Links are down below in the description. 10% off control free as well as anything in my apparel. You also have my Amazon associates link down there if you want to shop through that link and help support my channel through there. But again, thanks for watching, guys. My name's Skater. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll answer them. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.